Well, thanks a lot for inviting me, Greg. We're not as advanced as Janet's play by any means, but it's quite an exciting story. Evergold Corp is a very new company. I think quite a few of the listeners probably are familiar with it to some degree. I'll briefly recap. We did an IPO late last year, and that was at 20 cents. So we've been busy since. Essentially, we spent our summer working on two key projects, and the cover slide here is rather colorful, but it's really just to make a point to perhaps tantalize people. We've just recently completed modeling of the geophysics on our Golden Line property, coupled with the historical Newmont results, which clearly show that they were literally just scratching the side of what appears to be the main body of the target there. So we have two key properties, and I'll walk you through those quickly. Forward-looking statements, yes, we're certainly making a number of those. The virus really hasn't had any impact on us other than ramping up our costs to some degree. Slide 3, we're in this, you'll notice lately, benchmark, and a number of us have started to use the golden horseshoe concept. We have two key properties, flagships. On the left, you'll see the Golden Triangle, which everybody's familiar with. On the right is the Toodoggin area play, which what people don't really realize historically is that they're, of course, linked by similar geology. It's Stikine terrain. And our Snoball property, which I'll discuss first, is dead center in the heart of the classic Golden Triangle. And the Golden Line property is over there to the right, about an hour's flying time, north of Benchmark's property. So I'll deal here firstly. I just want to provide some meat today. I'm not going to spend much time on the gory details of the company. It is tight. It's only got about 32 million shares out at the current time, trades around 45 to 50 cents. I want to focus on the excitement and really what is exciting about Snoball to begin. I think the first thing I'd say is that we've just delivered a really legitimate early stage, high grade gold silver vein system discovery. And what we've delivered, and this was on August 18th, our initial results, it's precisely the kind of high grade system that the Golden Triangle, its early reputation, was built on. The area has evolved somewhat lately, of course, to the bulk tonnage plays, although Bruce Jack is certainly an exception to that. And I guess Scotty has some things going as well. So we have a brand new system, and it's entirely our own. Slide 6, as I mentioned, it's dead center there in the Golden Triangle. I think another reason for excitement, slide 7 here, is that it appears this system's completely intact. It's very high up on the mountain where we achieved the discovery, and there's no evidence of placer mining in the historical drainages. This would be similar to our discovery at the Saddle discovery north of us a couple of years ago for GT Gold. Charlie, Greg, and myself led that team, and that's now a plus 16 million ounce gold equivalent discovery. There was no evidence there of gold in the drainages either, but it's all there in the mountain. And we think we have a similar phenomena here at our Snoball property discovery. We think another reason for excitement that we're just scratching the top. Again, we discovered it at literally the highest elevations on the property, and we believe it's in place below us. Slide 9 is just a photo, a little hairy, where we chose to drill. We chose to drill there because we had very strong geochemistry. It proved to be the right thing to do, but it had its challenges. This is a full-on shot of Pyramid Peak and the Snowball Ridge next to it. There's about 500 meters of elevation difference there, and there are high-grade veins at the base of the image. And we, of course, drilled up there right on top of the peak where the arrow is pointing to. Another reason, basically, we hit, but we missed in a way. We were so limited in pad locations. We did the the wise thing, we built a pad on top of the mountain. We could not determine ahead of time what the orientation of the structures were that hosted the gold. So we built a pad we could drill 360 degrees from, and as luck would have it, it appears that most of our holes actually ended up drilling more or less parallel or sub-parallel to the main structure on top of Pyramid Peak. And why that's relevant, our results as announced in August were really quite a bit better than the narrow intercepts would indicate, because we believe that we simply drilled through, for the most of these, for the bulk of these intercepts, the pathfinder envelope around the core of the system. So we need to get positioned to drill properly. This slide 13, that dashed line shows you the trend of the high-grade system, or at least the initial structure, because there are going to be several of them that we drilled. And we basically drill parallel, as mentioned, to that. Slide 14 is a plan view looking down on our apex drill pad. So we put a total of 13 holes into this, or from this pad, to several azimuths, the bulk of them to the southwest. We got high-grade narrow intercepts, but we've also determined that there's good potential for a series of these high-grade structures, both within Pyramid Peak and out along Snoball Ridge to the west. So that's another reason for excitement. There's going to be a series of high-grade gold-silver veins, and we intend to pursue them. We have to get set up to drill properly. On slide 16, this is one of our interpretations as to the orientation of the high-grade vein sets, southwest to northeast. And if that interpretation is correct, then indeed we have drilled the wrong way with the majority of our early drilling. So the plan going forward will be to build new pads and drill properly to the northwest and to the southeast. Here's another possible interpretation on slide 17. It's possible these vein systems are running both ways, but we think the predominant way is southwest-northeast. So yet another reason for being excited, we know that Snoball is going to deliver very high-grade gold-silver intercepts going forward, beyond what we've seen with the early narrow intercepts. That's because we've not only hit it in core, such as in slide 19 here. That sample ran over 12 grams of gold and over 54 grams of silver over about 1.5 meters. We've also dug very high-grade boulders out of the side of the mountain. That one on the right runs between 400 and 500 grams per ton silver, depending where you sample it, and anywhere from 80 to 100 grams per ton gold. And it's quite arsenopyrite rich. This sample, slide 21, runs 22 grams and over 1,000 of gold and over 1,000 grams per ton silver. So I guess just to wrap up the pitch on Snoball, I would mention everybody hopes rather for these very high-grade long intercepts in the early going. We achieved that at GT Gold's saddle discovery, but most of us know that's usually not the case. So it's very early days on this discovery. We're just on the top of the system. We believe it's all there, and it's going to take another year or two for us to really unfold this as yet another high-grade golden triangle play. And if that happens, as per slide 23, access is pretty good. We're only 12 kilometers from the highway, 37, which is down in the valley bottom there, straight up this valley. So that's really Snoball. I'm now going to move you over to our second flagship, Golden Line, which, as mentioned, is over there on the right in the Tootigan and north of Benchmark. What's exciting about it? Today, I'm just going to focus on GL1 Main. This is the historically known target area. It was developed by Newmont, or discovered by them way back in 1984. They left it open in all directions, gold, silver, lead, zinc, and we've recently, literally 2 nights ago, completed a major program of geophysics, ground-based IP there, and modeled that. And what I'm about to show you, some people might claim it's just a pretty picture, but when you couple the historical results with our geophysics, this is about as good as it gets for this type of play. We are really just scratching the edge of what is a much larger target than anybody previously understood. I'll walk you through a few sections here, but this is it. That's the GL1 main zone. These holes you see pointing to, with the blue arrow pointing to them, those are historical Newmont assays and their results. Gold is red, lead is blue. We use blue or lead rather there. It's a really good pathfinder in this particular system. Basically, they've just touched the fringe from surface. They collared in the stuff. And I might add that we announced as well on August 18th that we've also achieved broad intercepts of epithermal style here. So it is an epithermal style system, but we're just scratching the edge of what could be, and we believe is a really exciting and large scale target there. We don't understand the geology much yet, but this is going to unfold. The target represents hundreds of meters of strike length, over 600 meters, and it'll certainly appears from the geophysics to have hundreds of meters of width too. This is a perspective view looking down on GL1 main. It occupies the valley bottom where you see the heat signature there. That's surface geochemistry. The red dots are historical Newmont holes, and that dashed red ellipse is about 1 kilometer across. These next few sections will just walk you through our latest results. Just geophysics coupled with the Newmont work. Any holes you see that have a trace, but no assays, no histograms, those are ours. And all of the assays from this work, about 3,000 meters of drilling, 17 holes, 10 of which went into the this target area here. They'll all be coming after the 15th of September, approximately, touch wood. You can see the main body of the target. You can see where they drilled, top right. Resistivity is our primary focus here, presumably representing the silicification. There's a good chargeability anomaly associated with this too. So stepping to the next section, you see pretty much the same thing again. There they are, just scratching the top right. Next section, same story. Next section, same story. By the way, the horizontal lines are 100 meters apart vertically that way, and the bulk of these vertical lines are about 200 meters apart. Next section, there we are again. So that's really just the kind of core of what we've got going at the GL1 main zone. We want to drill this more, and that's partly for that reason that we've been seeking additional financing. We've achieved everything we set out to do with the first phase on both these projects, which ran concurrently. So I mentioned the assays are pending here. I would just suggest that, we don't expect the initial assays to necessarily be blowout. I do expect them all to run because all the historical Newmont work did. We did get blowout results on our first go around at GT Gold with Saddle. Well, actually that was Saddle South. I'll mention something at Saddle North, which emerged as this massive porphyry discovery. Our initial hole, we almost wrote off. It didn't look that good. It ran this 0.14 grams per ton gold and about 0.16% copper over 210 meters from surface. But as we got into that system, we ended up getting numbers like 363 meters of over almost 2 grams per ton gold equivalent within 904 meters of 0.98. I can tell you that visually what we have going, and we announced visual intercepts that of epithermal style veining and alteration from the GL1 main target. And it actually looks a lot better in the early going than our initial hole did at the Saddle discovery for GT. They are probably different styles of deposit though, so bear that in mind. Anyway, it's really exciting, and it's state of the art, and we'd invite people who want to have a look at the company to do so. That's really all I have to say today. We have a really good team led by Charlie Gregg on the exploration side. About 27% of the company is held by insiders, and it's very diverse, the shareholder ownership base. So thank you very much.